Hey Vaibhav, good morning, Asha here.
Good morning, Asha.
Did I miss something or you're
Um,
just trying to share
so,
some document?
yeah, I'm trying to share one document. So I have
Yes,
shared one.
Vaibhav. I can see Canada takes tax concepts.
Yes. So today we'll talk about Canadian taxes, and then subsequently we'll see that in the system also. Uh, so talking on the tax concepts, we should know when it comes to Canadian tax concept, taxation as such is a very complex subject in itself, and it can you can even work on taxation for months. But when it comes to our payroll needs, you should be aware of these basic concepts in the Canadian taxes. First concept is the registered retirement saving plan, and you can go through the definition also. Let me know if you're not able to read through the screen. So it's an RRSP, registered retirement saving plan, that you establish, that we register, to which you are or your spouse or common law partner contribute. A deductible RRSP contribution can be used to reduce taxes. So that is one. And this is something which we'll see in the paychecks also, employee paychecks also. So no need to worry. So these concepts will keep coming on, and until till the end of the course also. So it's newly introduced. So right now, just go through the definition. But yes, slowly you'll develop an understanding around it, and it will keep on getting better and better. So then the Canadian pension plan, sorry, the Canadian pension plan retirement pension is a monthly taxable benefit that replaces part of your uh, income when you retire. So it's monthly, basically we are saying here, but yes, in every paycheck for semi-monthly also, fortnightly also, or like bi-weekly, from every paycheck we have a Canadian uh, CPP deduction. So you can read through. You have to deduct CPP deduction, contribution from the employee's pensionable earning. As an employer, you must contribute an amount equal to the CPP contribution that you deduct from your employee's remuneration. You will continue to do so under CPP enhancement. So that is there. And each year we provide the maximum pensionable earning, the year's basic exemption amount, and the rate you use to calculate the amount of CPP contribution to deduct from employers' remuneration. So as I told about the tax updates and all, right? So it will have all these kind of updates which are coming from the Canada Revenue Agency, CRA. So that is a website also you should note down, because that is a website on which you'll have to kind of explore a lot of things. I'll just take you through the website as well. And it has got a lot of resources. And basically, when we talk about payroll for Canada, it is driven through the Canadian Revenue Agency. Not driven means like it's aligned to that particular body, right? So whatever taxation changes, whatever the income threshold changes, whatever the rate changes come in, those are applied to Workday system from time to time, so that it comes into effect on the employee's paycheck. So Canadian pension plan is that, okay, it's a retirement pension plan. Then employment insurance. So if we go about the definition, employment insurance, EI program provides temporary income support to unemployed workers while they look for employment or to upgrade their skills. Okay, so this is something like where and you kind of contribute a small percentage of your paycheck to EI, right, employment insurance. Okay, and then once, let's say, in case you are unemployed, okay, and you provide a kind of uh, ROE, right? The ROE is a record of employment, so you have to give the details, and then you prove yourself that okay, that you are unemployed. During that period, you are covered because you have paid the like a percentage of your pay during the time when you are employed. That time you paid, and the same kind of you are covered during the unemployment period. So this is even in the US also. That comes under a different concept. Then record of employment, ROE provides information on employment history. It is single most important document used by employees to apply for employment insurance benefit, right? So anybody remember, like when we are like doing that create earning, right? And we are trying to create like select the pay component group EI. It was saying that you have to update the ROE section. Do you recall that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So there is a linkage, and that's the reason system restricted that updation. Then the main one, Canadian federal tax. So at Canada level, there is a Canadian income tax. They levy the tax. Then provincial and territorial tax. So every province in Canada, like Ontario, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, levy its own taxes. And employee paycheck will have both federal and provincial taxes. Okay, so next concept, TD1. So TD1 is a concept, it's basically a form. Let me write it, TD1 form. So it is basically a form filled by employees to claim personal tax credits. So it's a kind of tax exemption, you can say. The form has to be filled for federal as well as province. The guidelines to fill the form is provided by CRA for both federal and province. So in our system, in Workday, right, where do we fill the TD1? So let us just try to go there. Okay, I'll share my screen on the tenant. Okay. Let me know once you are able to see the tenant. Are you able to see the tenant?
No, Vaibhav.
Okay, just one second. Now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this guy, I found some employees who are like from Canada location, right? And then I just pulled out what information we have to just kind of review. So this guys, we have to, first of all, what we have to see is we have to see the employee's work location. So let me just see if I can find a British Columbia one, because that is the one I have opened. So let me just see.
Vaibhav, can you zoom it up a little?
Oh yeah, sure. Oh no, it's too much big for me. Is it okay now?
Yes, Vaibhav,
Yeah.
but did you increase too much? Is it okay with you at your side?
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Is it okay with
Just
you?
zoom.
Okay. Okay. So fine. Right now, we should identify, first thing we have to identify when it comes to a Canadian employee. A Canadian employee is like, where is the province in which he is working. So here we have Calgary, but I think I'll just pull out one more example. So I think this guy is British Columbia, right? Because I want to show you something on yeah. So I'm just going to Blair White. He's in Vancouver. Location is Vancouver, and he's in British Columbia. So as a first step, when it comes to identifying or calculating taxes, the first step is you have to identify where the employee is working. So this employee is working in Vancouver, which falls under British Columbia. Okay, and let's go to his TD1 now. So add Canadian tax elections. So if you see here, system is automatically updated. Blair White company, okay, work province. Okay, and just try to read through this fields. Okay, basic personal amount, caregiver amount for children under 12. So this is first tab is like federal. So employee can choose only the basic personal amount. Okay, if any of the other headings are applicable, then only the person will fill this amount and the total claim amount will increase. So total claim amount is here, which I am selecting here. So whatever you add here, the total claim amount will increase. So how, now the question is, how will the employee add this? So this is at the federal level. So he will first of all see the TD1 form, right? As I said, right, this is a guideline by the Canadian Revenue Agency. So I've just opened the form also parallelly. Can you see the form also? 2019 personal tax credit returns.
Yes, Vaibhav.
Okay. So, yeah, so let me just increase it. Now you'll just try to correlate this. I'm just uh, switching between the Workday and the form which is available on the Canadian Revenue Agency's website, and you will find the fields matching. First is the basic personal amount. Okay, so this is 12069. So this is where the amount is coming from. So this is the revenue agency form, and this actually acts as a guideline for the employees. So if you go through the content also, you will just find out what is it. Either parent but not, but for example, the Canada caregiver amount for infirm children under age 18. Either parent may claim 2230 Canadian dollar for each infirm child born in 2002 or later. So each heading will have certain conditions, and based on which you can, and it's also specifying the amounts. If you see, there are amounts also. Age amount, this is the age amount. So here also, if you have an age section, if you see in the Workday, there is an age field, and you need to follow these guidelines, okay? And you have to add it. And we also have, in addition to this form provided by the CRA, there is also one calculation sheet that also employee uses to update these fields in Workday. Okay, so this is from the self-service. So Blair White will go every year and he'll fill this TD1, and based on this TD1, he can claim the exemptions. So personal tax credits, basically, that's what is the definition. And you can just take a time and just review this. But these documents are also available on the Canadian Review Agency website. So amount eligible for an eligible dependent. So if you do not have a spouse or common law partner and you support a dependent relative who lives with you and whose net income for the year will be less than 12069, enter the difference between this amount and his or her estimated net income. So this calculation also you can do in the worksheet. So there is an additional worksheet. If you navigate through the CRA website, you'll find the worksheet also, in which you can do the calculation, do the math, and put the amount here. Like dependent, for example, dependent, it is here. So what happens after this? Now, once the employee has filled this, okay. Similarly for the province also, it is there. So for province also, we have a similar kind of a sheet. I think, let me see if I've opened that, or otherwise 2000. Okay, I have 2020, not 2019, but okay, fine, we'll manage that. 2020. So just take a note. So in the system, we are on 2019, but this is for 2020. So the amount may vary. So let me just, you can see this screen, right? 2020 British Columbia personal tax credit returns, correct? That form.
Yes,
Yes,
Vaibhav.
Vaibhav.
Okay. So then let me just open that, and let me just see if I can go to the, trying to navigate to the Workday. Where is that screen for Workday? Where is it? Can anybody see? No? No. Okay, let me just see where exactly.
First tab.
First tab, huh?
Yeah, add worker. No. The earlier window.
Here.
No, you just opened that.
Did I close it?
No. You just do alt tab.
No. Okay. Anyway, so let me just complete this. So likewise for the province also you have another tab, okay, where you can just select TD1 BC. BC is British Columbia. So TD1 BC, okay. Federal, not federal. I want 2000. So you just write to TD1 BC. So you will find out. Okay. So if it see it here, it is going to the Canadian Revenue Agency website. I can open this, and we also have a 2009 credit. Okay. So let me just see if I can, if it has a form. Yeah. So we have form here, I think, TD1 BC 19E. And I think this is the calculation sheet also. So we'll just open this. So at the provincial level, what is the personal tax claim for the employee? So that is something this form will determine, and you will have to refer this form and do the calculation and populate in the Workday. Okay, so that is the second part. Now what happens after this? Once you have populated all these things, what is the next step? So next step is we have to determine the claim codes. I'll go to the Word document back. So I'm on the Word document now. Everybody can see?
You're on tax document, Vaibhav.
Okay.
PDF one.
PDF. Okay, so let me just share this Word document again. Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, so now employee has filled his TD1 form for federal as well as the province in which he is working. Now, what is the next step? The next step is to determine the claim codes. So claim codes are like from 0 to 10. 0 is like no claim. That's usually for the non-residents, right? And for any resident Canadian worker, he may have a claim code, any of these, based on the total claim amount. I showed you like the claim amount, right? In the ad workers, this thing, Canadian worker taxes. The total claim amount is like the entire, the basic plus whatever are applicable, whatever amount you populate, you total it and you arrive at a claim amount. System automatically does that. And based on that claim amount, for example, you had certain, if you only have the basic claim in the federal, you will have the claim code 1. Okay. And claim code 1 is against, in case your personal tax credits are only up till 12,069. If it is more between 12,069 and 14,375, then claim 2 likewise. And then for British Columbia also, same way. So why this claim code is needed, right? Claim code basically will determine what tax bracket you fall in. Okay, if your paycheck is for $600 Canadian dollars by weekly, okay, so there is a math behind it. What is the Canadian income tax to be deducted? And there is a math behind it. What is the provincial income tax to be deducted? That math is determined by this claim code. Okay. Okay. So, so that is the first concept. So let me just try now sharing the screen and we see if Give me a second, guys. Trying to navigate through the tenant. Just 1 second. Okay, so let me just try sharing the screen once again. Can you see the tenant now?
Yes, Vaibhav.
Okay, great. So, okay, so we talked about the taxes to a certain level right now. So now what we'll do is, let me just pull out one employee's paycheck and we'll see what are the components which are there, because parallelly we'll try to find out what is the tax, how it is, from which all KRI guidelines or slabs, income tax slabs, it is pulled out. Okay, so let me just go to one employee's paycheck. So, okay, let me just go to the dashboard, rather pay calculation. Oh, it's not showing up here. So let me navigate through the dashboard. Any one worker you can take. So I'm just trying to pick up the worker where existing data is there. Although during the calculation, we'll again come across and CPP and EI, all these things will be automatically calculated that time as well. So this is a employee who is in a semi-monthly payroll. Okay, and then we can just pull out one paycheck for this guy. Oh, previously was on quarterly, right? So let's not take that. I would like to take another employee. Let's see. Okay, this is the one. Okay, so we have semi-monthly employee. I'm just trying to see if early in the year, definitely there will be some CPP, because once the CPP towards the end of the year, it reaches a limit. So I'm just trying to see if I can pull out one paycheck which has got some more information. Okay, so let's see this one. Taxes. Yes, so this one has got some good information for us to understand how the system behaves when it comes to CPP and employment insurance, federal income tax. So yes, so this paycheck, if you see here, it has got everything now. So Canadian pension plan, the CPP which I was talking about, so that is calculated 137.23. Employment insurance is there, then federal income tax, and then you have the provincial tax. So all the four components, as I said, right, for Canadian income tax, Canadian taxes, these four components you'll always find. But yes, these are the core, but there are extensions as well. For example, in a typical paycheck from person who is working in Quebec, right? So you may find CPP, you may find QPP, you may find QPIP also. So that's, as I said, right, if we just enter into taxation, it will take months to master that. But yes, these core taxes you should understand, and from time to time you keep on going through, and it's a kind of a starting point from where you can start exploring and start learning more about taxes in different provinces, different type of taxes, which will help in payroll as well. So here we have four taxes: employment insurance, federal. So there is a calculation involved. My calculation is a bit complex here. I'll not touch on the calculation at this point of time. But yes, what I would say is that we can try to find out, let's say, this particular amount based on the chart. So this employee is a semi-monthly, right? So let me just see if I can find some another document. Let me see. I'd open this. So this fine, actually this also we have to kind of it's a kind of ready reckoner kind of thing. So what we do is, usually if you want to verify, so there are two ways. One is you do the math yourself. Okay, so that is something, if you are a tax specialist, or you've done the kind of a Canadian payroll certification, something, you'll be able to do the math. Otherwise, there is second way of doing it, is you can directly go for the slabs, in the sense, like this employee which we just saw is a semi-monthly employee. Okay, and which province he is from? British Columbia, right? So what I did is, I have gone to the system, I have pulled out this T4032BC. You can note it down, or maybe it will be recorded as well, and it will give you all the details of what exactly has to be deducted based on the pay of the employee, what exactly has to be deducted per paycheck. So it is a semi-monthly one. So CPP is here, okay? And if we just go to this page and open link in new tab. So what was the amount? 134. Yeah, so I'll just increase the size. Okay, so this is a big chart actually. And if we just go back, where is that page? The paycheck page. Okay, anyways, so let us first of all concentrate on this one. So this page has got everything. First thing is you can do an online calculation of the paycheck for any employee. So this is payroll deductions online calculator. And in this you can enter all the personal tax credits, what is the CPP, all the entries it will do, and it will be automatically calculating the paycheck for the employee. And usually in real time, what happens is when we have a doubt in our system paycheck, so we do a math here using this particular payroll deductions online calculator. Okay. So, but right now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to show you that where exactly this slab is. So 134. 134 was the CPP, right? Or how much was CPP? So what this chart shows is, I'll tell you, this is a pay. If the pay, semi-monthly pay of the employee falls between this pay range, right? Then this is a CPP and it'll keep on increasing. If you see down below. So you have to see first of all, what is the pay for the employee? Okay. So this is for the, you can say payroll department convenience, you can say that the employees CPP will be automatically calculated. Let's say if the employee's pay is from 766.92 to 767.10, then his CPP is this. So like this, you also have a option for EI. So all the options are available here. If you don't want to do the calculation and from the pay, you just need to find out the slab. And this internally, how it is calculated is, that's as I said, right, that's a bit of complex calculation whereby you have a gross income. Then from that, you'll deduct the RR SP, right? And you then have a gross taxable income. Then you basically you analyze it. Why I'm saying it is complex is you analyze the amount, and then on that amount you do the entire deduction for the personal tax credit, and then you arrive at separately for each one. I mean, if you see each component, CPP has a separate kind of deduction calculation whereby there is a for 2019 it is around 4.95 percentage like that, and 4.95 or 5.10 like that, and then the EI also there is a percentage of 1.45 something like that. So these are all from the Canadian Revenue Agency, and these all can be seen in the system as well. So these are all in the compliance dashboard, you can find it. And our system does a calculation for each of this bucket: federal, provincial, CPP, EI separately. And the calculation concept is, first it will analyze the pay, whether it is bi-weekly or semi-monthly or whatever. It'll, if it is bi-weekly, it will be multiplying it by 26, and it will analyze it, and then it will start doing the math. So it's an internal math which is being done in the system. A sample calculation also, let me do one thing. I'll just share the sample calculation also, how it works. But for every paycheck, you will not be able to do the sample calculation because it is a bit complex. As I said, all the 4 buckets will have its own approach to calculate, right? Based on considering all the factors into like consideration, you have to do the calculation, and then you arrive at the figures which you saw on the paycheck. Instead of that, you can do one thing is you can have these charts from the Canadian Revenue Agency. These charts can be handy charts, and immediately in the paycheck, you can see the amount and you can see the corresponding value for the CPP or EI or federal income tax, what has been provided. For example, federal income tax is It should be here. Let me just see. Yeah. So if you see here, federal and British Columbia provincial tax table. So now if it is semi-monthly employee, what I'll do is I'll just open in a new tab. So payroll department, every Canadian payroll department will have a set of these documents downloaded and kept in a repository with them, which they will quite often refer as well. Okay. Now, if you see here, what is happening is you have the pay on the left side. And what is the CC0, CC1? Any idea? It is the claim code. Remember we had in the beginning, we discussed about the claim code. So this is the claim code. And if you see here, I'm just scrolling down as well. So any employee has got a pay, semi-monthly pay between 1203 and 1211. Okay, if he is on a claim code 0, right? Is it 0 or 1? First one, 0. So his paycheck will have a deduction of 163.50 on account of federal tax. If he is on claim code 1, then the tax reduces because he's applied for tax exemption, right? So the tax reduces further when he is on claim code 2, then 3, likewise. Okay. So in real time, we actually refer to his which claim code the person is, and based on which and what is his pay for the period, and based on which we just pull out the chart and we'll find out what is the tax. In case there is a confusion, or in case, let's say you are given an assignment to do the tax once the tax update is applied to the system, you have to do a testing of the system. Let's say this is a very common thing which happens in every company, whereby once the taxes are applied, CPP, new rules and new percentages applied, maximum limits are applied, you have to do a testing for the employee whether the employee paycheck is having the correct values or not. So typically what will happen is you will do it in the test environment. You will do a payroll run. Okay, once the taxes and new rates are applied, as of, for example, as of 1st of December, it is applied. Now we have to see what is the impact on our employees' paycheck. Employees could be in semi-monthly, monthly, or bi-weekly, weekly. Okay, and importantly, what is happening is we have to since 1st of December is the beginning pay period begin date for a monthly and semi-monthly, it is fine. So you will start testing and you should see the revised taxes, okay, in the paychecks for the employee. But there could be some employees who are in the bi-weekly. Bi-weekly could be 27th, starting from 27 November, 26th November, and ending somewhere in the mid, right? So the tax update has come in the mid. So how do you handle those employees? Will it be a prorated one? So all those guidelines will come from the CRA also. So what exactly has to be done? So these are like test considerations which you need to take care. And in case there are some doubts in the sense like there are any taxes are not coming correctly in the system, then you will refer to the website, the Canadian Revenue Agency website. You'll find out what is the value. You will also do a PDoc. PDoc is the online tax calculator, and that is supposed to be the accurate one because it's provided by the CRA. So you will match the values what you get in the paycheck in Workday, and you'll match the value in the CRA. And if they marry, it's fine. If there is a difference in cents also, then also you have to report. It cannot be that you pass 330.30 cent and they're getting 330.56 cents. Then it's not a match. So even on the cents part also, you have to be very careful, and you have to report that, okay, the calculation is not correct, because the calculation
Hey, Vaibhav, I don't hear you.
Yes, Asha, even I don't hear Vaibhav.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he got dropped.
Oh, Sirisha, by the time Vaibhav comes back, so as this all is the implementer's job, or all this taxation, everything is set up in the system, and then we go ahead and just do the testing? Like, what do we do? I'm kind of blank, actually.
Same here, Vasha. Even I was just about to ask the same question to Vaibhav. Like, is this a business team work to calculate, test, and everything? Or else, like, even I'm also confused.
Okay, because yeah, I wanted to stop him, but then I just was waiting for a logical end so that I can
Yeah.
stop him and ask. So that,
I think the first
because
thing
I
is
don't
we
want
don't
this.
know anything about taxes, right? That's I think because
Yeah.
of that reason it is totally confusing, and that too for Canada, we don't even know like what happens in Canada. I don't even know like what is the federal there, province, and all that. Maybe I should have read before.
Yeah, and
for
moreover,
us to
he was just showing
understand.
couple of problems. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that was the reasons, I guess. Maybe once we read the chapter, maybe we'll get a clear picture or something. I don't know whether the chapter provides Canada taxes or not. The country specific information, sometimes it's not there in the material. Let's ask like if there is any referred website or something where we can get some knowledge about the Canadian taxes. It would be.
I think he gave some, he was
to...
referring to some website, but more than website and all, my basic question is what we need to do.
Yeah,
and
that's correct.
How we need to go about. That's the basic question. After that,
Yeah.
maybe we can
as
take
a payroll
the website
consultant, what is our job?
Yeah, because how deep we need to go in this taxes, because as he was mentioning, it will take months and months to master. So I know we can't master everything, but then how much do we need to know and what we need to know? The basics, yeah.
True.
Okay, we'll ask him. I think we lost him.
I think so. Yeah, let's see. Hi, Vaibhav, can you hear us?
I think we lost him. I'm trying to reach the organizer.
Now he's there in the participants list. Before he wasn't there. Not sure what is happening now.
So did you do that task which he gave, the scenario and doing the configuration?
No, Asha. No, I didn't know what to do exactly. Like really, I went through, but I was like lost. Even that part was confusing to me, the limits and all that. And there are so many options there. Don't know. I mean, anyways, he told us that we would be provided with a cheat sheet, but other than that, yeah. Hi, Vaibhav.
Yeah. Sorry, power went off here. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay.
Yeah, we lost you for a few minutes.
Yeah. So, are you still able to see my screen, or is it gone?
Gone, Vaibhav.
Okay.
The initial screen is there now.
Initial screen is there. So let me just try to share it. Just give me a second.
So Vaibhav, while you're trying to share the screen, we had a couple of questions like what do we need to do basically as a payroll consultant when it comes to taxes? Because I was kind of going blank when you were going over the stuff with us, so I'm not sure what we need to do. And basically, what do we need to do when it comes to taxes?
Yeah, see, payroll consultant, are you saying that the implementation guy, like the implementation partner, as a
As an
part of
implementation,
that,
as
or
well as
is it?
the business or the functional person, what is our role when it comes to taxes in Workday Payroll?
Yeah, so yeah, okay. So when it comes to taxes, definitely if you are a part of the payroll department, you have a lot of things to do with the taxes. First thing is definitely any kind of new updates come from the CRA. I'm talking about CRA, since I'm talking about Canada, I'm talking about CRA. So any new updates come from CRA and it's applied to the system, you have to ensure that the taxes are correctly being calculated. We cannot assume so, because we had scenarios where the payroll director had to walk to the CRA and mention them that the taxes are being calculated incorrectly. So one activity, if you're a part of part of a payroll team or working as a payroll support analyst within the team in-house, processing the payroll monthly or bi-weekly payroll, is that yes, you have to run the payrolls. You have to ensure that the paychecks are accurate. How do you ensure that? Is like you have to have some fair idea of the calculation. Rest of the things, as I said, right, you have the reference guides also. Everything is there in the website. It's not that everything you have to keep it in mind. And when it comes to activities, definitely there will be activities like testing the tax updates, testing the tax uh, for example, 15 new hires are there. Okay, and 15 new hires, you have introduced them in the system, and then you have to just see for these 15 new hires, are they getting the tax as per the new revised tax rates or not? So things like that, and it could be yeah, that is precisely what you have to do. Uh, and with respect to calculation, I will not say that you get more deeper into calculation. I'll give you sample calculations. If you have interest, definitely. If you are good at maths and if you're good like maths and all that, it's good. Otherwise, if you get too deep into calculation, then it's not the smart way of doing things. You have to have this charts, as I showed you, right? On the screen also, the T4032BC. Well, the reason why I'm sharing that is it has got all the four. First is like for Canadian pension plan, it has got a weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, monthly chart. Then for employment insurance also there is a chart. Then for federal taxes there is a chart. For British Columbia provincial, why I pulled up British Columbia is the person is working there. There are charts for every pay period. So you should refer the chart and you have to verify. So that is the activity you will be doing. Plus, there could be some more activity like, okay, a new rule is introduced for Ontario health premium. Okay, now what do? You go to the website, you see what is the new rule. You read through that, you have the calculations there, and most probably they'll provide the chart as well. So if you're comfortable with the calculation, you can have a calculation like you process a payroll, you see the Ontario health premium is okay or not, the values and all based on the new rules applied in Workday, and you compare it with a chart which is provided in the revenue agency website, and you will be able to find out whether the values are coming accurately or not. So you have to even test the exceptions as well. So they will have a lot of conditions, exception which can be tested like that. I know right now I think this is a new subject, right? For you it's a new subject.
Yeah, taxes, like I have no idea on that. especially like Canadian. So let it be US also. I'm not very I'm not having that much idea.
No,
So
I think this is
yeah.
yeah. I'll tell you what. To be very honest, when somebody says that I'm a
Mhm.
payroll consultant and as an implementer doesn't know much about taxes. To be very frank, he will know more of the setups and calculations, the rules you saw, the worker eligibility and other factors. He may be more quick on that, and he may be implementing that. But when it comes to tax and tax calculation, he may not be good. Most of the implementers are not good. That's what I have experienced. And because this part is something which a business keeps with themselves, their payroll department will handle all these things, the taxation part. So the payroll department in a company may not be very good at implementing or building that logic for any elements or any deductions in the system, but they may be good in the data. So they may understand more on the data, what is coming out of a W2 form, what is coming on a paycheck. They will understand more thoroughly or more in a better way as compared to the implementer. So here I'm covering because I have as I told you, right, around nearly 5 years back, I have done CP and the Canadian certification also. So along with being a payroll BA and specialist, I have also been into the taxation. But this is very important. As I said, that if you want to be a complete payroll analyst or a BA, then you should know payroll as well as taxation also. So that covers it all, I think.
So, Vaibhav, to get a better idea on the taxation part, do you think the material would give us some extra knowledge for us to understand this better, or do you want us to Google and learn about
No, I want you.
taxation parts?
Yeah. So yeah. So the first up, if I talk about the approach I'm already giving you, right? What is the approach? How to crack it? That's something we have already initiated. So as I said, right, you have to identify first step, identify the province of employment for the employee, and then you the second step is what are the claim codes he is in, right? So that also you can figure it out now because he will be filling up the form, right? So whether he's in claim code one, correct? Disagree if you don't, you cannot find out, right? You can find out now, right? What is a claim code? So then coming on to the third part, how do we identify
Vaibhav, we can't hear you again.
Yeah, I think we lost him again, Asha.
Out of power cuts maybe.
Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry, I'm sorry about it. It's again an issue here. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Vaibhav, we are here.
Yeah, I'm sorry about it. It's not in
No
my.
problem.
Yeah. So yeah. So with respect to learning more on the taxes, yes, as I said, right, you just research on the CPP, QPP, not QPP, leave the QPP part, CPP, employment insurance, and the federal tax and the provincial tax. And as I mentioned about this thing, right, I'll just give you the navigations as well. The one which I showed on the screen, right, everybody saw that archived one, archived payroll deduction supplementary tables, because it is very comprehensive, this one. Let me just share it once again.
So Vaibhav, is it possible to share some URLs so that we can go through them?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So this one, if you see here, this is archived. Not this one, sorry. Yeah. Payroll deduction. I want to share the other one once again. It's on the tenant. So tenant you can see? No, right?
No.
No, Vaibhav.
Okay, just hang on, please. Okay. So yeah, now can you see?
Not
We
the
still see
tenant.
some website, but we don't see the tenant yet.
Or you cannot see the document which I opened in the tenant, within the tenant.
No.
Okay, fine. Let me do one thing then. I'll just send you the links. I'll just send the organizer the links. And what I would suggest is you try to go through those links and what is the content there, and you will develop a good understanding on that. So for example, CPP, EI, all those concept. For what is concept, you already know now. How it is calculated, you will get some good understanding on the website. The link I'll send it to you, and then you can also try the PDoc. It is not immediately, let's say today you do and tomorrow you are good at it. It will not happen like that. But yes, slowly you will develop understanding, and I think by the end of this course, once you start running the payroll and all, I think you will be much better. So you'll get more comfortable with uh, the tax part. Okay. So now, yeah. So now I want to show you something more also. Let me just go through. So hopefully power doesn't go off. I'm just going to the tenant, right? Let me know once you see the tenant.
Yes, Viber, I am able to see.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm navigating to the payroll, the compliance dashboard, where all these taxes, everything reside. And I would also tell you to request you to explore that. So payroll compliance updates. So here is what you can find, all kind of updates which has been applied to the system. Do explore this dashboard. The way I've navigated, try to explore this and, for example, view payroll tax allowance data. So okay, so I want to see, these are different kind of taxes. Provincial income tax, British Columbia. Let us see what it shows. So don't go with this in detail, but I want to show you the slab. Let me see if. So this is all payroll tax allowance data. So on the right side, if you see, there are certain flat deduction slabs are there, right? So this is all data which actually comes from the tax updates. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to do any setup also. Okay. So this is all for the calculation purpose. But how you will check is like you can directly go to the IRA, like the CRA website and find out uh, the slabs, the sheets which I showed you, right? And the links which I'll send you. Okay. And we'll discuss more on this one. Once we get into the actual payroll processing, you will see different components coming up for certain different employees. And then we'll discuss further also. Right now, the immediate exercise is to understand from CRA what these 4 buckets are and try to find out some paychecks for Canadian employees where these uh, elements, they exist in the paycheck. Okay. And try to see the math. What is the CPP coming in the paycheck, and if I need to see in the website, or if I want to see in the uh, table, right, for a semi-monthly or a bi-weekly, where exactly I can find out if I can do figure it out how exactly it is coming over there. So try to find out that. But yes, as we progress and we start doing the payroll run, this will be further. We'll discuss further on this one. Okay. So apart from this, we also have certain tasks, right, which we do. So this is on the payroll calculation part, but at the company level also we have certain things like certain tasks which we have to do. This is the implementers activity. So I'm just making you aware. So these are all one-time setups. Here also, you will not be having access in real time. You will not even have access to this. So, but yes, you should know that these are the tables which are there. These are the tasks which are there, which are used. So if you see federal, ROE related. So even these values, if you ask me, right, so these values also something by referring to the CRA guidelines, we can figure it out what exactly is the reference number I can put, or so you like it's a standard kind of activity which will happen in each and every implementation, payroll implementation, Workday payroll implementation in Canada. So there is no variation on that. So these are standard values which you need to set up in the system. You will not set it up. Implementer will get the inputs and he will just set up these tables. As a part of payroll team, your job mainly will be on the taxes part, right? Because the first is the payroll processing part, introducing any new benefits or introducing any new earning or deduction, how on to which all pay groups it has to be applied, or any kind of tax update testing. So these are the kind of activities you will be involved in. Okay. So this is another option, maintain tax authority exception for pay group. Okay, so yeah, overall, I mean, these are like the setups, but main focus is on the uh, tax which gets calculated on the paychecks. Okay, and yeah, now this is on the Canadian tax, and we will then discuss the US tax as well. And we'll keep on discussing because after the tax, we have all the components in place and we'll start running the payroll also. A couple of more setups and we'll start running the payroll. And in payroll, you'll actually start seeing the effect of what are the changes you had made with respect to garnishment, what are changes when you, for example, when you amended like garnishment or terminate or rather original garnishment is there. What is the effect? What is the variation you will be able to see employee by employee? So in the paychecks. Similarly, for the net pay or deduction setups also, you can see that. Okay, talking about the garnishment, right? I think somebody had raised this question, right? Where exactly this one comes, right? The defaulting happens. Record US. Okay, so it's basically the pay group only. So what if we see here? I pulled out one Amanda Becker, who is a bi-weekly US pay group. Okay, so if we select here, so the pay frequency is bi-weekly here. So I think that answers the first question, right? I think somebody who raised it, right?
Yeah, Sirisha, Vaibhav, I asked
Yeah.
that question.
Yes, yes. So this employee is a part of a bi-weekly pay group. And for this employee, it defaults as a pay frequency bi-weekly, right? For other one, right, Victor, right? So I think that was the data was modified. And if we see for Victor, Victor is a part of that previous example which we took. So he's a part of semi-monthly. So it is bottom line, it gets defaulted based on your pay group.
But the amount entered should be from the court order only.
Yes, that is the, yeah, because see, we don't have to go with the defaulting. We have to go with the court order. And that's the example I showed for Victor. Because in the court order, it is mentioned that he'll be getting $200 to $50 per month and not semi-monthly. So we have to override that and we have to update that as monthly, right? Because $250 per month. But the calculation, because the employee is in a semi-monthly pay group, the calculation will be 125 per pay group, per pay period. Okay, so that's what happened yesterday. So you got it, right?
Yes, Vaibhav.
Yeah. So that is the difference. By default, since you talked about default also, default I just checked, and default is the pay group default only. Whatever is the like if the employee is in a weekly, it will show weekly, bi-weekly. But as a process, we have to update the like code order only here in the system, and we have to override the pay period also if it is. I think second question which we had was on that federal tax levy. Okay, so real-time example, I have to just build, right? I mean, we cannot have the data from um, live instances and all that. So that's prohibited. But yes, a real-time example, I'll try to build that. But one thing I had noticed here with respect to real-time, let me see. Because I was trying to go through the security as well. So let me see if I have that information here. I've just forgotten the security this thing. So what I want to say is there is a data source for federal tax levy. Federal. Let me see. It gives an option. Oh, it's not showing that. So for federal tax levy, the data source does contain that amount type where we select the percentage of disposable earning and all that. So it is there, and it is the system is hiding that. It is not that in the data source it is not there. It is system is hiding that. It could be due to the because the fields that keep on changing dynamically, as you have already observed, right? For bankruptcy, for creditor, every type of garnishment, the field changes dynamically. So for this also, the changes, and it's basically the data rules, right? Because of which it is hiding it. And yes, a real-time example I'll create in the system and I'll show you why exactly. Then it will make more sense that why it is hiding it. But yes, for now the field is available in the data source, but the rules in Workday are laid in such a way that that fields get hidden for that particular garnishment, the federal tax levy. We'll talk on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
Any
Vaibhav.
other questions?
And
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Vaibhav, one more thing, like when I was like yesterday, I had to ask that, but I kind of forgot. So when I was doing a support order lump sum withholding, it does not have an option to amend or terminate the withholdings. Like for other ones, we do have. So maybe is it because at lump sum amount, so that's the reason, or that's why we don't have an amendment or terminate options in the withholdings, or is it again something related to a security or something like that?
I think yeah. So it's not security part. It's basically for every, as I said, right, for every garnishment, the fields keep on changing. As per Workday, the rules are laid in such a way that for one garnishment, you will see different set of fields based on the order requirement. Whatever is the way usually the order comes, the same way they keep it like the fields which are to be updated. So that is there. But yes, to answer your question, if I provide you some, I'm just seeing if I can build some real-time situation or scenario that can answer you in a better way. Why that is not there. But usually I know that lump sum is for child support. So in child support cases, you provide the lump sum amount. But why it cannot be amended? So that's a question. And real-time scenario will, if I build that, it will answer that.
Okay. And then we were discussing like there was an option to delete the withholdings, right? The garnish,
Yes.
the withhold.
Yes.
So yeah, I did go ahead and delete it. It just takes away from the withholdings tab for the worker.
Right. So which means like it will not be processed. It will not be deducted from the employee's paycheck.
Correct. So
Right.
yeah.
So yeah. So yeah. So basically.
And yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So there will be some options which are more of operational this thing, right? So typically there could be a need for deleting an incorrect withholding, right? Or let's say the data entry a person has updated incorrectly, and many a times it happens in the system, right? We correct the previous history data and all that, and either we correct it or we delete the previous data. So that option definitely this system will give, but that's more on, like you can say, the operational kind of convenience. But the amend, terminate, that's more to do with the court order, what you get.
Correct. Yeah.
So, Viper, one question. There was something related to when transferring the employees, what happens with the withholding orders? So is it like a important concept for us to understand what happens when the worker get transferred?
From one state to another, right?
Is it from one state to another? I did not understand like that part from one state to another. In the material it was mentioned.
Yeah, I think I covered here, right? Record.
I understood that
I
part.
think
Yeah, work state. The order can be issued in one place, and if the worker gets transferred to another place, we can
Yes, yes.
select work state. And I
Override.
also have a question that why do we, I mean, what is the significance of other options in that prompt, Vaibhav, other than work state? Do you think all those have some significance?
Yeah, let's open that. You're saying you're talking about the override, the rules one, right?
Yes.
Let me just try to find out one employee. You have one employee handy? Joshua, right?
yeah, you can take Joshua.
Okay.
Yeah, I just deleted couple of the withholdings for him, but yeah, you can. I think there are
Yeah.
2 more left.
Okay. So anyone will take?
Yeah.
And this one will not have, right? It's
No,
only
it doesn't
federal.
have that
Override,
option.
no.
The state one, you have to just pick up that, or any other.
You can do
I think,
state, or you
I think
can do
support also has that.
support also. Yeah,
Okay.
support, and then yeah, even the something like credential, something like that.
Creator.
Yeah, creator. Yeah, even that has it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So this one, right? So issued in which state and overriding withholding order rule. So whether it is federal or issued state or resident state or work state. Yeah.
So
So
if the, yeah, go ahead, Vaibhav. I got confused with issued state. Issued state is, I thought, similar to the above field.
yeah, issued in, right? Issued in. So
Right,
so
Vaibhav.
no, but the thing is, see, issued in is like first one, right? So then let's say, for example, the person gets transferred from one state to another, and then you select this option as a work state. Okay. Then the person again is retransferred. He goes back to the original one, right? Original state. So then what will happen? So the thing is like it all this information and overriding also. It's all basically the court order will tell you the details. I would say that you get the sample like in Google it basically, and you can find out some court orders and what are the related fields. I'll also try to build some live examples. See, garnishment as a subject itself is quite vast. So every subject I understand in payroll, we have quite vast subject, but we have to see like how much deep we can enter into that and how where we have to leave it to get into the next subject, because ultimately our uh, aim is to get some good knowledge and try for employment, right?
Yeah, definitely, Vaibhav. I agree with you. So
Yeah.
only thing was confusing me was that issued state when it is there above. I think maybe all those options were given as per my understanding to just maintain the history of the withholding order, I guess. So you keep on amending that and doing so many things, right?
Yes,
Over
yes,
the
in
time
real
of the
time.
period. So every time we get to select a different option, I guess, maybe.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Right.
got it.
Okay. Yeah. So any other
And
questions or yeah, tell me please.
yeah, Vaibhav, Asha here again. So yesterday, like there was a scenario which you gave us, right, for the 401k deduction.
Yeah, yeah, I have to send it. I'm sorry about it. I'll send it. Actually,
No, no,
I
no. I just picked it up from the recording actually. I just paused the recording and I just wrote it down. So, uh, trying to understand how do we configure this. I tried to do it, but then I was not sure on the percentages and the limits there. So, do you
yeah.
have a minute to open that deduction of mine?
Tell me.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Tell
Yeah,
me. Yeah,
are you able to hear me?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe can you go to the deduction of my deduction? Like
Okay,
I couldn't do it, but then I was stuck where I had to do the limits and the percentages.
okay.
So maybe if you can um
Tell me. Yeah.
maybe
What is it? What is your deduction name?
um maybe you can just put AS, my initials AS, and give a space, and then
First one.
yes, yeah, the first one, yeah.
Okay.
So the conditions was this employer, Steve, he works in this company, Global Model Services. He earns like 114K a year, and 20% of his monthly salary is for his 401K pre-tax. So that's the first deduction I did. So as I think there is something more to it where we need to put. I was trying to do the percentage here, but like how do we do 20% and all that stuff, like 20% of his monthly salary to 401K, and then he's eligible for 50% employer match also.
Employer match
So
will be employer match will be a separate deduction. So
okay.
For example, this 1% you can add here. You can fix it, or you can have input allowed. There is an option for input allowed, right? So you can set it up as recurring. So percentage you can add it here. Okay.
But how will we add that 15%, 20% here?
Yeah. So the value you will not add here, right? This is like a high level setup. So for that employee, you have to add. So it will be either from the add payroll inputs, add pay inputs, where the you do the kind of a setup where 15% or 20% deducted every pay cycle, right? So that value you have to set it up as recurring. So that will not be in this setup.
Okay.
You know that.
So yeah,
add pay
that
component.
percentage.
Yeah, because there are two things. One is you are setting up the deduction on earning. Second, per employee, you are adding that value. Where do you add that value is not this place. This is just a setup. It can have various other things, but not the employee related value. Right?
Okay.
Right. So you have to go to add pay inputs and then try to explore that what values I can give. Yes, the setups which you use here, you do it here, that will reflect over there and you have to feed the value over there. So the percentage which you do it here, it will be there, and you can set it up as ongoing or recurring, and it will keep on getting deducted every cycle, every pay cycle. It will keep on getting deducted. And ideally for a 401k, what happens is you don't even do a setup here. The values will directly come. It can even come from the percentage on the benefit side, right? So that's separately on the benefits module. So, but yes, for our understanding, for our process run, yes, we have to consider where we can enter in the payroll, and that is the add inputs, add pay inputs. That is where you do it.
Okay. So even the limits, the percentages, like the ones which you gave us the criteria, right? 20% of his monthly salary is pre-tax, 15% of his monthly salary is Roth and Roth, that is, and then 401(c). Sorry, 415C.
Yeah, limits also, I think you have an option to override the limit at the worker level. Just let me see. Override. So maintain payroll limit overrides for the worker. So this is a task. So now what we are doing is we have set up a limit at the earning or deduction level that's applicable to all the employee population to whom that particular earning and deduction is allocated. But here in this scenario, we're specifically talking about certain limits for this employee. So where can we override that? So if we just select okay, so here you can actually, if you see, ignore limits. There are options: start period, end date, limit override value is there. Try exploring this option, and you'll be able to set up the limit for your own 401k. Yes, let's say. Like this, you set it up. So now the update which you're doing in the system, the limit which you're trying to set in the system is only for your deduction. You can put a start period, end date, start period, end period, and then you can put a limit value. Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening, Vaibhav. I'm listening.
Yeah. So
yeah,
use,
I was completely lost actually, like how to do that.
Yeah. So this is a task. This is a task you have to explore. You have to do this. Try to go to this task and just try to enter the value. And this is employee wise, right? The previous limit which you're setting is like the earning or deduction level. But this is employee wise. If you want to override the limit value, you can override the limit value, okay, and give the limit amount here, like 20,000 or whatever, subject to whatever the amount is. Deduction wise, what is the start period, end period, and position is optional. You can override the values. This will ensure that when you are entering the values, it will not cross the limit.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I think, guys.
Okay, I'll try to. I'll try to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. So I think we're done with today's class. So next class will be on Monday evening, your time. Okay. Same time. Tuesday morning.
Vaibhav,
Yeah.
Vaibhav, when you got dropped, I'm the host now. So after the class gets over, do I need to do anything because the session is recording? I just want to make sure.
Just one second. Session is the session recording still?
Yeah, session is still recording, but I am the host. You are not the host now.
Okay. So
Is there anything I should do or just leave the meeting?
I think you can leave the meeting. That's it. End the session, end the meeting. That pop-up will come once everybody leaves.
End meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So that is the option. Yeah. Okay. Then.
Okay. Thank you, Vaibhav.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Vaibhav. Have a good weekend. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.